Hi. Uh, I want to apologize in advance because I thought it was a very good idea to be recording the script while I was sick. So you'll have to bear with me breathing a lot, stopping, or my generally congested and sore throat. So I'm sorry for that. And thank you for your patience. This is going to be a short personal rant. Obviously, experience differs for everyone, but I hope that you will get something from it. Thank you and enjoy. To be honest, I'm still not confident that I may call myself an artist, but I enjoy what I do, whatever it is I'm doing. I've been drawing since about 2 years or so, when I've got my iPad with Procreate on it. Ever since my teenage years, I somehow convinced myself that you need some sort of an innate talent, some sort of a gift to be an artist. Like, if you don't feel the shapes, the colors, the compositions from the get-go, then you might as well not start. Since then, I've permanently laid off drawing and picked up all sorts of visual arts as hobbies, from Blender to photography. Eventually, I've had to buy a tablet for studying. And I figured I might as well get into drawing in secret, all the shame associated with it laid beside. A month or so passed, I've actually realized that art isn't some sort of esoteric, inaccessible thing that is bestowed only upon the few. I sketched some things, and I thought they were rad at that time. That forced me to draw more and more and more, through any and all burnouts. I wasn't good by any measure, but I started liking it. I was getting practice, and I thought I was good, which was what had me improving purely by practicing, but which had me, in my stubbornness, refuse any sort of actual learning, looking up tutorials, following courses, doing studies and such. I thought I could keep that pace of initial improvement forever. Obviously, that didn't last too long. When my improvement plateaued, when I realized that I haven't even dipped my toe in what drawing is, my confidence was shattered. I couldn't draw for a very long time and thought that I'd reached my full potential, and meager at that. Fast forward a lot of time after, I've returned to what first got me into it. TTRPGs, the source of my inspiration. I joined a few campaigns and saw others posting sketches of their characters and figured that, hey, drawings of my OCs don't have to be good, as long as I like them. And so I was drawing again, riding the same wave, only now I was determined to get better, for the sake of my own enjoyment and not some idealized concept of myself as a potential artist. But when I started actually learning anatomy from basic shapes, volume, shading, color theory, and so forth from tutorials, I started seeing infinite flaws in my past as well as current drawings. At any point, a moment would come when something just seemed off, so I would just focus on this perceived flaw, like not being able to fully shape how it's ought to be, and doubly so considering that I'm partially an aphantasiac, eventually getting frustrated and rage quitting. What I learned from that recent dip, similar to ones I've had before, is that confidence for how big of a role it has over my own learning process is an extremely delicate matter. You have too little of it, and you can't force yourself to pick up the pencil, get endlessly frustrated and quit at the bare sketching stage. On the other hand, have too much of it and you will stagnate, may find it hard to take actual advice and or study the fundamentals. Noticing your mistakes, especially in the beginning, is important, but it's just as important, if not doubly so, to realize when you're about to spiral, to lose the broader side of whatever you were trying to make, and to just set aside the corrections until later, or just take some time to rest your eyes. Gods know how many times simply setting my drawing tablets aside and making a tasty meal for myself saved a piece that would otherwise remain an eternal VIP. if not being condemned to the trash bin. Another small note is jealousy versus inspiration. I think it's more or less a universal experience, but unfortunately one I couldn't give any advice on. I used to think that there was something deeply, innately wrong with me to look at others' work and only be able to think that I will never be as good as them. Eventually I realized that nobody is as good as anyone but themselves. Every single one of us are great in their own way. And if you think you aren't, you just haven't discovered it yet.